So something weird keep happening these days. Sometimes I will show someone how I use ChatGPT. They will go, wait, you can actually do that? I was like, well, of course. Why not? And I'm thinking, yeah, I've been using it since day one. I thought everybody knows. So in this video, I'm going to share the 7 habits that make ChatGPT more than just a search engine. Let's step in. The first of all is, please stop waiting for ChatGPT. What do I mean by that? The other day I was showing this function to my friend. I was basically complaining. I was like, oh, every day, I open so many tabs on ChatGPT. I would sometimes forget what I wanted to do, and then I got distracted. And then she's like, wait, I didn't know that you can actually open multiple chats on ChatGPT. I was like, oh, of course you can. I think when we first got into these AI chatbots, we just wait for it to reply instantly, right? But as time goes by, as these models improve, as it has more capacity to complete more multi-step tasks, it actually sometimes takes 5 minutes, sometimes takes 10 minutes. At those times, what do? I'm not gonna wait around for this chat to finish what I wanted to help me. Naturally, I open a different chat. It's just as if back in the days when we were working in a team, I will go to a colleague and say, hey, can you help me look at this data? The time that would take to complete each task can all happen at the same time and much, much faster. You don't need to wait around ChatGPT to finish one task before you open another one. The other one is something that I already shared in a short form. I love to walk around and then I want to listen to something. Usually I listen to a podcast, and on a day like this in London, I would love to walk as much as possible. Some of the ideas that's forming in my head, I also wanted to have a clear read. But because I'm not trying to read my phone while walking, right? The Read Aloud function is actually my favorite.
Yes, I remember.
The third one is, just as when we're talking to a friend and talking to a colleague, always, before you want it to do something, ask what it knows, ask how it remembers. Because usually I think when we're talking to a friend, how I talk to a friend, I would be like, do you remember the friend that we met the other day in the cycling place? Do you remember the trip that we took together? And that actually serves as function that we recall a memory, right? But it's always good to ask what it remembers about this specific task. For example, I'm gonna plan my comedy night this October. What do you remember? And then I will hit this button. This is the dictate button. I'm gonna say, hey, do you remember I'm gonna plan my comedy night this year in October? And then it's done. Extra high is maybe a too high. I'll just put it at high. And then it starts to think, right? Oh yes, of course I remember you're planning to do another comedy night in October 2026 as a birthday adjacent celebration, building on last year's Founder Mode with a Twist experiment. And then he was like, what are you thinking about now? Here's the thing, when you're actually recalling some of the memories, it's very good for it to draw from what it knows, and then you can say, oh, this is not correct, that is not correct, I have to actually have changed something, and then you can take it from there. I would say this is actually the most useful function, but make sure you have enabled the memory function, and make sure whatever that you set to ChatGPT and the details that you review is something that you are happy and comfortable letting these AI chatbots know. And after you record it, it's the best time to prompt it, just as what I've shown you. A lot of people feeling like prompting is so daunting because they don't know what's the best way to prompt an AI model, what is the best way to get the best result. You don't have to. It's almost like you're talking to an employee, you're talking to an intern, you're talking to a friend. What do you usually talk to them about? Like, what is a natural way of talking to something? Maybe you and your friend Maria are planning for a dinner party, and then both of you decided to come up with a theme. And then after you come up with a theme, you need to decide who do you want to invite, what kind of message you want to send out, what kind of platform you want to host your events on, and do you want to build a landing page, this and that, right? So the entire process, you can build it just by prompting together with ChatGPT. There's other ways that you can solidify this workflow, which is the next level, but I think this will be good enough for you to just start by using it. And the next one, naturally, if you're planning something, I would definitely have to show you the image creation mode. We can do images. It actually have an entire image. You have different mode. Take a selfie and wear your colors. You can have disco mode. You can improve your desk setup as well. You already have a lot of different style. As we've shown in the past, if you only say, hey, make it pretty, it wouldn't be pretty. You need to be able to show it how you want it to be done, what kind of vibe, what kind of style, and how do you like it better. So let's go back to the comedy night threads. Because I have already asked to this chat to help me build a 5 to 10 page slide to guide through the events. Can you help me think through about the aesthetics, planning, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, oh, I think I can do this warm, clever, slightly cinematic dinner party deck, not corporate slides, but make it cabaret. Have no clue what is cabaret, by the way. And then it gives me a 5 to 10 page arc, right? Opening, why we're here, rules of the room, character. And then I say, this sounds good. Can you give me a sample design? You can just simply put an at, and then you can add all sorts of different things. Can you give me a sample design based on what you know about me and what I like the most? This is a very creative flow. If you have a very specific style, you can always use it. And while it's creating this, I'm gonna go to my event. This is my event, and I already have like an aesthetic like this, right? So I'm going to screenshot this, then I can use it as a reference. And then I can also give it what do I want it to feel like. The feeling is very important. So it gives me this one page, founder mode, the plot of the night. This is a good starting point. And here is the design of the Luma page of my event. Can you revise accordingly? You can describe before generating. Have my personal website. I will love to have some of these aesthetics as well. This one is way better than the previous one because now it gives me a 8 slide deck, which is way better than the previous one because this is not something that I like that most. And then I just give some reference, right? I give some reference about my founder mode with the twist and the aesthetics from my website. And now it gives me very good slide to follow. And the most important thing about image generation, you need to give it what does good look like, a reference. And that's more important. I think there's a lot of function you need to look outside of the inbox. There is plugins, there's ways you can refer to different files, which is not a function in the past. I would say to my past self, if I start using ChatGPT from day one, is to be more curious because I have been a kid who will have a lot of questions since day one. Now it feels like a kid in the candy store because I have so many questions and I can always ask a chatbot way better than a search engine can ever help me do. The final habit that I wanted to share is the most important is whenever you don't know how to do something, how to use ChatGPT, how to use Claude, the easiest way, ask ChatGPT itself. What is the best way I can use it? Can you tell me the latest function? All of those. Just simply ask, I want to do A. I don't know what's the best way I can utilize ChatGPT. Can you help me think it through? Period. Simple, easy, done. Finally, I wanted to show you a very cute experiment that I've been doing, which is a bonus about creating a pet for yourself. That's wild, I know. Look, so here, if you go to ChatGPT, whenever you choose work, you see this is very cute, like pet here. You can actually choose a pet. You can upload a pet. I choose this one because I just quite like it. And then there's other ones, right? You can also hatch a pet, create a pet with ChatGPT. This I'm very excited about. It's so cute. Help me set up my pet. Let's make your work pet feels like a small companion you genuinely enjoy seeing, not another productivity widget. I will start with the visual lineup so you can choose a built-in character or create one that feels more like you. And actually previously, I tried to hatch a pet already. I created a pet based on what you know about me. And then it worked for 37 minutes. It decided to create a very cute fox for me as my pet. None of these are real hacks. I think I just stopped treating ChatGPT like another search engine. I talk to it like someone that I work with, like a friend, like someone I'm genuinely curious about. And I give it context, I show it references, I let it help me think through stuff that I think is more difficult. But There's something that I would never outsource, which is my judgment. And there's something that I will always make sure that I do at the end, which is double check and whether it's actually making the right outcome. So I'm curious, which one of these did you already know? And which one made you go, wait, it can actually do that? And this is today's video. I hope you like it. I'll see you next time. Bye.